with me measuring tape. Here, one price. £10.
Did you say £10?
Before Jason Statham was a global box office asset, he was selling knockoff perfume and watches on a street corner in East London. No acting credentials, no drama school, no carefully manufactured Hollywood origin story. Just a guy with a shaved head, a permanent scowl, and zero formal training, who somehow convinced an entire industry to hand him multi-million-dollar action franchises for 3 straight decades. The question isn't whether Jason Statham has range. He doesn't. Demonstrably, historically, almost defiantly doesn't. The real question is, how did a street vendor with exactly one facial expression build one of the most bulletproof careers in cinematic history? That is the blueprint nobody is breaking down until right now. Here's the piece of the puzzle standard roast videos completely ignore. Before Hollywood got hold of him, Statham spent 12 years on the British National Diving Squad, even competing in the 1990 Commonwealth Games. Elite diving requires intense, mechanical precision. It is the exact science of executing the identical physical movement perfectly, over and over, without flinching under pressure. When he wasn't on the diving platform, he was on the pavement, hustling knockoff goods. He was a salesman whose entire survival depended on making you buy a fake Rolex, through pure confidence, rather than actual substance. Marry those two lives together, and the mystery disappears. An athlete, trained to repeat the exact same physical routine with flawless accuracy. A street hustler, who can sell you anything with a deadpan face. When director Guy Ritchie cast him in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, he didn't discover an actor. He hired a guy who was already playing himself. And for 30 years, Hollywood never asked him to break character. The blueprint crystallized in 2002 with The Transporter. Frank Martin, professional driver, strict rules, 0, emotional, availability, maximum, physical, damage, move fast, look angry, never explain your motivations. Statham hit those notes so cleanly that studios locked the template permanently. What followed was 20 years of the exact same contract, executed in different zip codes. Crank, angry in Los Angeles. The Mechanic, angry, but quieter. Safe, angry in New York. Every title reads like it was generated by an AI algorithm fed nothing but protein powder and unresolved childhood grievances. But here is what separates Statham from every other mid-tier action star. He never once looks embarrassed by the absurdity. Not in Crank, where he has to friction charge his own heart. And not in Spy, where he parodies his entire existence. He plays every ridiculous line, like it is high-stakes Shakespeare. If he doesn't blink at the premise, you don't either. That clinical commitment is exactly why audiences trust him completely. But don't mistake consistency for a lack of talent. Jason Statham can actually act. Look at Spy. From 2015, he plays Rick Ford, a delusional, hyper-intense secret agent who genuinely believes he once drove a car off a freeway onto a moving train while on fire. And he is magnificent. His comedic timing isn't a fluke. It's a calculated, surgically precise parody of his own tough guy persona. Every frame lands, because he treats the comedy with the exact same deadpan severity as a serious thriller. But when the film wrapped, audiences didn't want a versatile Statham. They wanted their unironic enforcer back. So he gave it to them immediately and closed the door permanently. This proves his narrow range isn't a limitation. It is a corporate decision. Cannot and will not are very different things. Jason Statham falls strictly, deliberately, in the will not category. To understand why this choice is brilliant, compare him to two action icons who handled their limitations completely differently. Take Steven Seagal. In the early 90s, same ponytail, same deadpan whisper, and a total refusal to ever look vulnerable. Hollywood handed him franchise after franchise until audiences grew tired of the monotony. Because Seagal had zero self-awareness, his brand became a joke he wasn't in on, and he drifted into straight-to-DVD obscurity. So quietly, the industry barely noticed. Jean-Claude Van Damme took the opposite path. In his 2008 meta-film JCVD, he delivered a stunning, vulnerable, emotionally deep performance. Critics were shocked. It saved his artistic reputation, but it came too late to save his box office power. Statham studied both outcomes and rejected them both. No embarrassing decline like Seagal. No vulnerable reinvention like Van Damme. Just aggressive, unwavering continuation of the core product. Seagal ran out of road. Van Damme changed vehicles. Statham put his cruise control on 90 miles per hour. and force the industry to get out of his lane. But even the most bulletproof formula has a structural limit. The Meg Sauter 2018, Statham versus a 70-foot prehistoric shark. On paper, it's perfect, his stoicism against nature's most terrifying predator. In reality, the film suffered a fatal identity crisis. It couldn't decide whether it was a genuine survival thriller or a self-aware B-movie comedy, and that tonal split exposed the only true weakness in the Statham product. His formula demands that the world around him takes him entirely seriously. The moment a film winks at the audience about how ridiculous he is, the illusion breaks. Statham cannot wink back. His on-screen identity is physically incapable of irony. The Meg made money, but it revealed a critical design flaw. Place this specific performer in a campy environment, and the feature instantly degrades into a bug instead of fixing the crack. Statham did what every elite salesman does. He doubled down on the product. In Hobbs Shaw, he paired up with Dwayne Johnson. It featured 2 stars, with identical, unyielding brand philosophies, sharing a screen for 2 hours, 0 emotional vulnerability, just hyper-masculine irritation and competitive flexing. It should have been unwatchable. Instead, it was an overwhelming commercial triumph, because when 2 performers completely own their limitations, the limitation becomes the spectacle. He followed this by leaning directly into unapologetic, cartoonish absurdity. With Meg 2 and The Beekeeper, he didn't fix the camp problem. He just hit it harder. None of these films reinvented cinema, but every single one turned a massive profit. In an industry driven by unpredictable risk, absolute dependability is the ultimate premium currency. So, does Jason Statham have no range? Yes, absolutely. Structurally, almost artistically, yes. But he understands a truth that drama schools will never teach you. You do not need 100 different products. You need one flawless product that people trust completely and keep coming back for without hesitation. Jason Statham is not an actor managing a career. He is a premier consumer brand that occasionally distributes motion pictures. The scowl is the trademark. The black suit is the premium packaging. The violence is the service delivered. Seagal forgot that brands require active quality control. Van Damme tried changing his target demographic entirely. Statham kept his supply chain identical and let the competition run out of steam. 30 years, film after film, never recalled, never reformulated, never disappointing. Other actors transform. Other actors disappear. Other actors reinvent. Jason Statham simply arrives, furious, immaculate, exactly as advertised. And history has proven that is more than enough.